of the GP defense?
Well, the keys, we caught up with Mark Stewart, the coach of Meadowdale, just a few minutes ago, and he said the keys where he's got to stop the big plays for Glacier Peak. That's going to be difficult because Glacier Peak's averaging about 48 points a game, so that's going to be tough to stop those big plays, but he also wants to try to take him out of his rhythm, which pretty much every team attempts to do at least. And they run that pistol offense, and they've got a couple big running backs just like Oak Harbor did, and they run them a little bit different, but they run one game they ran them 50 times a game.
Absolutely. On the Mavs side, look for big number 45, Kyle Newsom. This kid is 6'1", 195, 6'2", a senior. He is an absolute load. Also, for another speedster kind of to counter him is Giovanni Shepard, number 20. Look out for Meadowdale's number 20. Kind of a counter 1-2 punch for them, Tim. They bring in Newsom, then they bring in Shepard.
Absolutely, and Newsom's the guy that they had carry it like 20 different times. It is a 1-2 punch. And then they've got Brian Marty at quarterback. He's having a great year. They're not throwing the ball very much. However, they've got such a strong running game. They look for them to keep coming at Glacier Peak with that running game.
Another huge key for them is another big kid up front on the offensive line, and also, more importantly, maybe on Glacier Peak side, how to stop big Tanner Davenport, 6'4", 265-pound senior. Who are they going to match up to stop this guy?
Well, it's funny you should ask, because we caught up with Glacier Peak's coaches yesterday, and interestingly enough, they're going to line up Timmy Douglas on him, and Timmy Douglas...
Rudy?
Rudy.
Rudy?
Absolutely. Timmy Douglas goes for about 5'7", 170, maybe. I think they're stretching it there.
175. You don't give up 5 pounds for Rudy Douglas.
He had his helmet on. But at any rate, interestingly enough, they're going to line up Timmy Douglas on him, and I think the theory there is he's quick enough to get around them, and although Davenport's got such a big girth on him, they figure Timmy's just going to run around him.
Absolutely. Other big keys coming into this game tonight for Glacier Peak. Had some injuries last week, had some people on the sidelines. Talked to Coach Rowe yesterday at practice. What's it look like for AK-47 Alex Caribou, Tim?
Well, AK is obviously one of our favorite players. We love to call his name. He's had a huge impact this year for Glacier Peak. Coach said it's going to be a game-time decision. If it's up to AK, he's playing. If it's up to the coach, it's a game-time decision. He's got a bad ankle. He hurt it a couple games ago. But he's a key. Well, and you can see he's walking out on the field right now, so he's suited up and ready to go. I look for AK to be playing.
Absolutely. You see AK-47, number 18, Marcus Hurd. Then Evan Nelson coming into this game with a gigantic season so far. He leads the Grizzlies with touchdowns. Big touchdown maker. Just a little quick note on the Mavs. As you see there, we pan over maybe to the right here and see the Mavs captains come out. Kyle Newsom comes into this game, Tim, 9 touchdowns. That's unbelievable.
Well, that's ridiculous is what it is.
Giovanni Shepard's got 6.
Well, they have some touchdown makers, and unlike Glacier Peak kind of spreads their touchdowns out, they've got 2 workhorses scoring a lot of the touchdowns for them. Glacier Peak's offense is a little bit different. They've kind of spread their touchdowns out between 5 or 6 guys, so it's a little bit different. Hard to compare the two, but 9 touchdowns, that's impressive. None the same. Back
for the Grizzlies again tonight. We should see starting quarterback, senior number 12, David Linney.
Well, the thing about Linney is we only got to see him like half the game last week, and we didn't get to see him the week before. Expect to see him playing full-time at quarterback. The offense obviously runs a little bit different with Linney. Becerra's done a great job not taking anything away from him, but when Linney was in there, it's just a smooth, well-oiled machine.
Yeah, absolutely. We really started to appreciate David Linney and how he runs the offense. Totally different pace. Also, one of your favorite guys, Tim, is back for defense, specifically number 6, Eli Whipple.
My friend Eli Whipple. He is back. He was hurt, I think, one week, and Didn't get much playing time last week, but look for him to be back. Also look for Hershey to be back at duties full-time on defense, and he's a key player and one of their leading tacklers. So all in all, I think Glacier Peak's healthy. The only question mark is probably AK-47. I expect him to play, so we'll see.
And Coach Rose said if he doesn't have Alex Caribou 47, hey, he's not shy about the big Smeds running the ball. Last week he was a killer. 2 touchdowns last week. Tons of yards. I mean, just had a great game in the backfield.
And I caught up with Steve Hannon before the game, the defensive coordinator, and he said Smeds is also going to have a huge role on the defense tonight. They're switching things up. They got to stop that run, so they're kind of making some adjustments. So basically they're keying just on the run.
Glacier Peak will receive as we see the coin toss. And Meadowdale, so Glacier Peak offense, and this is what's going to be exciting about this game, to see the high-powered offense of the Grizzlies against this just unbelievable league-leading defense. Again, they've only given up 3 touchdowns through 4 games.
Well, that being said, they've only given up 3 touchdowns. However, Glacier Peak's averaging 48 points a game. So something's got to give here. If you're watching right now, the uniforms look similar. Glacier Peak's in white tonight. Meadowdale's in the blue. The blue uniforms kind of look like Glacier Peak uniforms, so don't get confused.
Well, give us an email at scott@snahomishtimes.com or tim@snahomishtimes.com throughout the ball game. We hope we have a better technical presentation for you this evening. Executive producer, engineer, man of many things, the 5-tool player Todd Elvig is outside the booth tonight with the camera, so we think we have some good pictures, and also we have a higher wattage coming out of the stadium tonight. Well, 1:35 left till kickoff. We want to thank you for joining us on STSPN.com, the Snohomish Times Sports Network. We'll get to all our great sponsors and friends, and we want to also just kick it off like we do every single week and thank our great friends right on Highway 9, one of the best restaurants in town, Mongo's.
I can't get enough of that stuff. That is good vittles. Do yourself a favor and get over to Mongo's. It's kind of hidden away there on Highway 9 in Clearview.
As we take a pause now for the national anthem, we'll be back with the starting kickoffs.
Sorry, folks. The national anthem should be coming on here. Here we go.
Camera's not picking it up, but
Everybody knows this is a huge game because the stadium here at Edmund Stadium, we are on the road live, is packed.
It is packed. A lot more packed than we saw it a few weeks ago. Stay tuned, folks. What's the matter?
Hold on 1 second. Having
technical difficulties.
When we go on the road, we got to kind of play it by ear here. While he's working on that, also got a chance to catch up with a really neat young man, Sean Elledge, the wrestler, as Tim Boyle his name, given him his nickname. Talk about a little bit what Sean Elledge talked to us, how he's approaching, first of all, on the offensive side. He's going to change his game a little bit for this fast, good defensive Meadowdale.
He's changing it on the defensive end. They're playing him up a little bit. They're basically playing him just for the run. But Elledge, he was a little disappointed he didn't get in the end zone. He did get in the end zone. He had a touchdown. They called it back. He told us that he's got his sights set on the end zone tonight. He's looking for like 2 or 3 of them.
Right. On the offense, when he gets in that bubble screen, he's just talking about how he's got to go straight down, vertical down the field a little bit instead of dancing and trying to make something happen. These guys are just too fast to juke him. So here we go with the kickoff. Number 3 for Meadowdale kicks it off. And that is Elledge, I believe. No.
Evan Nelson,
excuse me, with the return out to the 24-yard line. They'll start from there.
Good play on special teams for Meadowdale. They're coming out fired up.
Corwin Perkins, number 49 on the tackle for the Mavs.
And Scott, we didn't talk about our predictions for the game.
Tim,
what's your prediction?
My prediction is it's going to come down the wire, 21-20 GP.
I'm saying 41-20 Glacier Peak.
10 now. David Lenny, the senior in the white, hands it off to Elledge, and they get him deep in the back, and that I think is Kyle Newsome. Well, no, that's 49. Excuse me. Corwin Perkins again, deep in the backfield for a loss, Tim.
Yeah, and they tried to run a little sweep there with Elledge, and the rare turn of events, you got one guy tackling him in the backfield for about a 4-yard loss.
Loss of 2, they're calling it.
Loss of 2,
now
okay.
2nd and 12. David Lenny now, looks like David Smedrud gets the call, and he just gets a couple up again back to the original line of scrimmage, almost to the 24.
Well, Meadowdale's playing tight. Just like Coach Mark Stewart said, they want to keep him out of that rhythm. That's what they're doing.
And you say on defense, for the Mavericks, look out for number 34, Michael Cummins. He's a junior, 6 foot, 215-pound kid who leads the team week in and week out in tackles. Lenny rolling to his right, looking for an Evan Nelson, and he makes the grab at the 35.
And a beautiful grab. It's going to be really tight if that's a first down. He's right on the line. Depending on how he spot that, they're spotting it right where the first down marker is, and they give it to him, Scott. 1st and 10. Just what Glacier Peak's needing to get that rhythm going.
David Lenny coming into tonight, 29 for 47 over the airwaves. So he's actually doing very nice passing the ball, and then tonight and every night he's got some wheels. So 1st and 10 at their own 35 for Glacier Peak. Lenny now, the lone setback. Smedrud goes back over to Evan Nelson. He catches it at the 42, works his way down to past the 45.
That'll be another first down. I think they're going to mark it about the 46-yard line. About an 11-yard gain there.
5th play of the drive for Glacier Peak. Started out getting pushed back. Now they've gotten 2 first downs. Lenny back, now looking over to the far sideline is the Glacier Peak coaching staff. You've been watching our home games, a little bit different. Lenny now pitches it to Smedrud, misses one guy, and gets hammered down with a couple-yard gain by big number Michael Cummins. We were just talking about him, Tim.
He's obviously coming up big tonight, and you'll probably see his number called all night long. Not much doing there on the option there. Looked like Smeds was going to break a couple tackles, and he got hit hard by Cummings.
So brings up a 2nd and 7 now for Glacier Peak. Still in their own territory. Hands it off to Smedrew. He breaks one, and he's bear hugged down into Mavs territory at about the 48-yard line.
That's going to bring up probably about a 3rd and 4.
Jeremy Gomez for the Mavericks on the tackle. Another junior, big kid, 6'2", 270, Tim.
He is a big kid. Who do they got lining up on him?
Look to see now a pivotal first series, 3rd and 4, no score. Lift the hand up, Lingy has to take it himself. And 34, Michael Cummings again just rips him down for no gain.
Well, they did a fake handoff there to Elledge, and it obviously didn't fool anybody on Meadowdale. So it's going to be a big 4th down coming up. They're showing 4th and 4.
Looks like they are ready to punt. You've got Marcus Hurd, the up man. Here the punt, and it's off. A rare punt for Glacier Peak. Taken at the 10. Misses one guy, and finally good open field tackle down around the 14.
Interesting call there. It's not really what Rowe normally would do, especially in that type of field position. But Glacier Peak elects to punt. Kind of surprising.
Timmy Douglas on the tackle. First time we get to call his name, Rudy, and I believe, I'm not sure if that was Giovanni Shepard on the return there.
Were you surprised to see that punt there?
I was a little bit, especially midfield.
Yeah, it's typically a play where they're going for it.
So Meadowdale takes it over with 8:22. There's Marty, pitches it to Giovanni Shepard. He makes one guy, and he's taken down by Eli Whipple and crosses the 20-yard line to the 21.
And Eli Whipple's back in action today. Good to call his number. Kind of been absent from the lineup a little bit the last couple games.
So nice gain of 6, they're going to call that. 2nd and 4 for the Mavericks. Again, Brian Marty, the quarterback in blue. Flags are down.
It looks like it's going to be a false start or an illegal procedure from where that flag was thrown. It's probably going to back Meadowdale up about 5 yards.
Again, you can see in your picture number 71 for the dark blue Meadowdale Mavericks. That is Mr. Carpenter, big kid. Mr. Davenport, Tanner Davenport, 6'4", 265 as we see the penalty goes against Meadowdale.
Well, that kind of negates a good first run for them on first down. Penalties have been costly for Glacier Peak this year. We didn't talk about that in pregame, but that's something they're hoping to avoid tonight.
Now 2nd and 9 from their own 16-yard line. The junior Brian Marty fakes the handoff to Giovanni. Now he's got trouble. And he gets it off, and it is completed for a rare completion and pass for Meadowdale, and I think that could be a first down.
Well, it was a great heads-up play by Brian Marty because he was about to get sacked. I think it was Timmy Douglas was in pursuit, and he puts a good move on and ends up getting a first down out of it. Varsity move there.
Interesting that first time Kyler Larson on the reception there. Look for him, big defensive standout. And Chris Becerra on the tackle, the junior backup quarterback, we believe. Pitches it to Giovanni. Shepard. Jukes goes right, crosses the 30. Hard to come down. Finally is brought down around the 37-yard line, Tim.
Well, and you notice he's a kind of a small back, and he faked out about 4 or 5 people, and where he could have lost a couple yards, he ends up getting a first down. So good heads-up play by Giovanni.
Brought down by Timmy Douglas and Eli Whipple there. Finally had to catch up with him. So 1st and 10 now at the 37-yard line for Meadowdale. No score, 7:01 left. Hands off to Shepard again up the middle, and they finally bring him down for just a gain of couple.
And nothing doing on that play. Glacier Peak closed the gap on a hurry. They're kind of expecting these plays, Scott. They're expecting that run up the middle and that little sweep. So they know it's coming. It's just a question of whether they're going to be able to stop it or not.
So the tackle by, again, sophomore Neil Drewliner, number 53, is Brian Marty. Takes it, goes back to pass again, and good pressure, and he is nailed by Timmy Douglas. There's going to be a flag.
I think they're going to call an intentional grounding because where that flag came, he was getting sacked, and he just kind of threw the ball right when he was getting drilled. So
Carson Call came through with Timmy Douglas and just nailed the quarterback.
They put a licking on him there, and I think what you saw is right when he was going down, he kind of threw the ball. So it is intentional grounding. So that's a loss of down, too. So that's just like a sack and better.
Interesting, we haven't seen the big kid 45 for the Mavs carry the ball yet. Big number 45.
Well, what they do, Scott, is they rotate him in and out. Unlike Oak Harbor, where they had both their good backs in at the same time, you'll see Newsom and Giovanni Shepard switching duties.
So loss of down now brings up 3rd and 8 from their own 25. Again, no score early in the first, 6:27 left. As the quarterback, Brian Marty. Again, now he rolls to his left a little bit. Now he goes for a pass, overthrown.
It's like Eli Whipple on the coverage there.
Ryan White, the intended receiver for Meadowdale.
It's 4th and 21, Scott, so obviously look for a punt here. I know Meadowdale's gutsy, but they're not that gutsy. 4th and 21, so good series of downs there for Glacier Peak.
Back deep for the Grizzlies are Sean Elledge, the wrestler, and it looks like Trey Chambers.
Oh, we got Trey Chambers back. That's going to be pick your poison there, Scott. I don't know who you kick to in that situation.
It's a nice a high end-over punt, not very long. Bounces at the 49 and out of bounds.
Well, and that's going to Glacier Peak's actually going to get to start inside Meadowdale's territory, probably about the 48-yard line. So not a very good punt there.
Looks like Brian Marty actually punted that. We had Nils Odegaard as their punter and kicker, but it looks like Marty punted that. So 2 punts, 2 series for both teams, and 2 punts. I wasn't expecting this.
In fairness to Meadowdale, it's like that's probably not a bad punt when you got to either kick it to Elledge or Trey Chambers.
So Grizzlies now go fire over. It's just high. Intended receiver was Evan Nelson. Incomplete. We'll bring up 2nd 10 and 10. They are on the Mavs side of the field at their 49.
Well, obviously his choice in receivers tonight is Evan Nelson.
Yeah, he has gone to Evan
every time, I believe.
Now we see 34 in the lone setback now. That's Michael Palmer, the junior. Got a lot of carries and 2 touchdowns last week against Marysville Getchell. 2nd and 10. In motion now. Hands it off to Quentin Dunbar, trying to get around. Tries to get a couple yards, and he might get back to the line of scrimmage.
I think
Ethan Coffey on the tackle there.
I think he did get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's going to bring up a 3rd and 10. Quentin Dunbar, he kind of had a quiet game last week, and I was expecting him to come out big tonight, and we'll see what happens.
So 3rd and 10 here, still at the 49-yard line. It's kind of heavyweight duel so far, and nobody's really broken up in a big play. Linney rolls now to his left, looking downfield, has plenty of time. Now goes over the middle. It's caught!
I think
he dropped it. Evan Nelson had a first down at the 34-yard line. Good coverage there.
Yeah, and, a couple things on that play. One, Evan Nelson would like to have that ball back because he should have caught that. But number 2, Linney had all day back there. I mean, he did a great job on the offensive line, giving him all that time. And they're punting again, it looks like.
Josiah Evans for Meadowdale on very good coverage. Is back to punt is Smedrud. Back is Kyler. He fair catches at the 23-yard line. So interesting game so far, Tim. Early first quarter, 5:18 left, no scores. Nobody's gotten past the middle of the field.
And 3 punts. Well, Glacier Peaks actually had it just on the inside of Meadowdale's territory. And strangely enough, that's usually where they do not punt the ball. at their own 40, they typically aren't punting. So
1st and 10 now. He hands off to Shepard. Shepard's got a hole. Eli Whipple drags him down with help, and he gets all the way down to the 34.
And I got to tell you, Shepard, he looks like a little kid out there, but he certainly isn't playing like one. He's actually busting a lot of tackles out there. They gotta figure out a formula for him.
Number 3 out there, the sophomore Trey Chambers, got some great playing time last week, helped Eli on the tackle. Now they're sitting at 1st and 10 from the 35. Again, Shepard jarts right. Now he's grabbed and tackled by a gang of Grizzlies. Out to the 41.
Well, he still picks up about 5 yards, so they're having a difficult time containing him.
First time Austin Jacobson's going to have a big game. Had a huge game last week, number 38 for the Grizzlies. They're going to need him to plug up the middle.
And they haven't called Kyle Newsom's number yet, have they?
They have not. I have not seen him catch the ball. On the far side for Meadowdale is Ryan White. Hands it off again to Shepard. He gets met hard by Brendan Hershey.
Well, he still picked up about 4 yards. It's gonna leave him about a yard short of the first down, but Glacier Peak's really gonna need to tighten up on him.
Jacobson and Drew Liner with the tackle. I think they're gonna, for the Grizzlies on defense, a lot of gang tackling. It doesn't look like one guy's gonna be able to bring at least Shepard. We've seen Shepard so far.
Well, and you wouldn't think so, because as small as Shepard is, you would think they'd be able to get him with one guy.
Interesting they don't have Newsom out here. They're 3rd and 1, 3:51 left, no score. They pitch it around the right corner to Giovanni, and he gets the first down and just a little bit more, crossing the 47-yard line. Be busy for Glacier Peak tonight. 1st and 10 on their own 48 line. Brian Marty now hands it off to Giovanni again. He is met at the line of scrimmage from a gang of Grizzlies, and he'll maybe get 1 or 2.
Yeah, not much doing on that one. I think they know what's coming. They know what play's coming. It's just a matter of whether they're going to stop it or not.
Spotter Ron Henthor saying he saw Rudy Timmy Douglas on the bottom of the pile.
Rudy's always in there.
2nd and 8 at the mid-stripe line. Brian Marty not having to do too much again. Been handing it off. Now a fake handoff. He gets it over, and it's up the gut again, and a first down. That is Kyler Larson, number 36, the wingback, taken down by Trey Chambers. Little misdirection, Tim.
Well, not only that, they kind of switched it up and went with a big guy, and he just kind of, unlike Giovanni Shepard, he just went straight up the middle and ran over a couple people.
Kyler Larson getting some looks, we understand, from the Glacier Peak coaching staff from Air Force, so some Division I players out there. Marty's pitches it now to Shepard over the right side. He's got blocker, brings it all the way, a gain of 9, all the way up to the 33 or 34-yard line. 1st and 10 again.
Well, Glacier Peak's going to need to make some adjustments here because like I said, they know what's coming. They're having a real difficult time containing Giovanni Shepard. He's, getting 5 yards here, 9 yards here. It's going to be a long night for the defense if he keeps it up.
Sophomore Trey Chambers already in a couple tackles tonight. He's getting a lot of work. That means they're getting past him. Marty off to Giovanni again. Left side, he's got some room, a little sliver, and he gets to the first down. Up to the 27. Trey Chambers on the tackle again.
Boy, and I'll tell you what, Giovanni's going to be sore if he keeps this up because they're pretty much using him as the workhorse.
Oh, this is the 8th play of the drive, Tim. This is exactly what Meadowdale wanted to do. They've already picked up 3 first downs, and they are eating clock. 1:48 left in the first quarter.
This is exactly what they were looking for. Eat the clock. Keeper
now, Brian Marty on the left side. He's dragged down as Jacobson hang on to the jersey, and he's finally brought down, but he gets to the 21 by Timmy Douglas.
Well, and Glacier Peak struggling on this. You could see that was kind of almost it took a long time for that play to develop, and he sat in the backfield for a few seconds, and Glacier Peak still couldn't get to him.
Giovanni Shepard already 11 carries, 71 yards in the first quarter, Tim.
Well, that's huge. They need to figure out a way to stop him fast.
Absolutely. Again, they kind of bunch up the backfield. That is Giovanni Shepard, number 20 in the back. Brian Marty pitches it on the right side. Plenty of blockers. Gets a hole, little seam. He's going to be close to the first down as he gets out to the 15, and it looks like it is a first down.
Well, unfortunately for Glacier Peak, this is the type of offense that really tires out the defense, too. You know, that smash mouth, you just keep running it at them. They know what's coming, but they can't stop it, so they're going to have to make some adjustments here.
Big Carson Call for Glacier Peak on the tackle. 1st and 10 now, really the first time they've been in the red zone. He hands up. There's Kyle Newsome, and he goes all the way to the house. Touchdown, Meadowdale. First time we've seen him the touchdown king. His 10th touchdown of the season.
And it's almost not fair to Giovanni Shepard. That's why Newsome's got all these touchdowns. They let Shepard bring it all the way down for him, and then they hand it off to Newsome.
A 15-yard run-in for Kyle Newsome, the big senior.
If I'm Giovanni Shepard, I'm crying foul. I'm saying, wait a sec. I did all this work.
Unbelievable, as this is Odegaard on for the extra point. 6-0 Meadowdale. The snap and the kick, it is good. So in the first quarter with 31 seconds left, the Mavericks of Meadowdale take a 7-0 lead over Glacier Peak.
Well, they're doing exactly what they wanted to do. You know, they're actually turned into a field position game with some punts, unlike what Glacier Peak normally would do. But we're going to have to see how Glacier Peak responds.
A 10-play drive eating up about 5 minutes of the clock on a 15-yard touchdown run by Kyle Newsome. First time we saw him tonight.
Well, and I think that's kind of reminiscent of what they've been doing all year, having Giovanni Shepard run down the field, then they give it to Newsome to get the touchdown.
As Odegaard now looks on to kick, Glacier Peak still huddling up. Clock is stopped at 31 seconds. 15 rushes attempts, 107 yards tonight, Tim, and they're averaging 7.13 yards a carry.
Well, 107 yards, and keep in mind we're still in the first quarter, so not the game Glacier Peak's hoping for right now. They're going to have to turn the tables here.
Unbelievable first little series successful as Odegaard. He's got Evan Nelson. He's got the carry up to the 20. Oh, he trips and falls down at the 24.
Right when he was picking up that burst of speed, he lost his footing there, and luckily he didn't give up the ball while he was falling.
So they'll get it with 26 seconds left, and they'll start on their own 23-yard line.
Now, what'll be interesting here, Scott, is to see if Rowe's going to change his mind when he gets to 4th down. I think he's probably thinking, man, I wish I wouldn't have punted those balls.
So far, Smedrud has 3 carries. Now an empty set spread now. Looks like Elgin motion comes across. Now he cuts, looks in against traffic. And he is brought down with the line of scrimmage. Big number Max Neff Warner, 84 from the Mavs on the tackle.
Well, they kind of did a little bit of an end around on that play, and everybody stayed home. Didn't fool anybody.
So a loss of actually, I think, loss of 2, they're going to say?
I think
no, gain of 2,
2.
excuse me. 2nd and 8 on their own 25. Now it looks like there's a timeout on the field. That's
going to end the first quarter.
Oh, excuse me, end the first quarter. So, hope you've enjoyed a pretty interesting first half here on STSPN. Wow, Tim.
Well, Glacier Peak needs to make some adjustments, and again, you see 2